Well, I have something interesting to show you. I got this message on my dashboard recently. It says SRS airbag service urgent. And there's also another message that says time for regular service. So, normally I use the money I make from YouTube for random extra stuff, like for example, if I wanted to go to a restaurant I normally couldn't afford to go to, but this time I had to spend all of it just to take it to a dealer and figure out what was wrong with the car. So, as far as this airbag light is concerned, there's actually, according to the dealer, there's nothing wrong with the airbag system. There's just something wrong with the system that detects for faults. And apparently, the thing that's wrong with it is someone spilled soda in the car, and that ruined the system. And here's why that happened. This is the cup holder of the car, and thanks to the ingenious design of this car, it's located right above the electronics that detect for faults in the air brake system, which was a brilliant idea, by the way. So yeah, someone spilled soda in the cup holder, the soda got to the electronics. Now it's giving false alarms that the airbag isn't working properly, which is actually kind of dangerous, because now I have no way of knowing if the airbag is working or not, because now it's giving a false alarm. Like, how do I know when to trust it or not? How do I know if the airbag is functioning if the system that's supposed to detect for it isn't working? So, you know, that's a huge problem. As for the service, the time for regular service indication, I took the car to the dealer yesterday to figure out why that was happening as well. And apparently this car needs $4,000 worth of maintenance to it. It needs a new timing belt and a new, what do you call those things? I can't remember the name of them. It needs a timing belt and a VVT Hub or something like that. Either way, those are very expensive things. And it also needs 2 catalytic converters, which apparently is never a cheap thing to repair. So I'm thinking of trading in this car for another one, because well, I spent $2,400 for this car. So it doesn't make much sense to spend $4,000 just to repair it, when I could spend $4,000 to get another car that hopefully doesn't need repairs, or at least only needs cheap repairs. You know, when I bought this car, I never thought it would break down, not really break down, but need so much repairs so shortly after purchasing it. $4,000. That's almost twice what I paid to buy this car. And of course, some people will probably be asking, why don't you take it to a regular shop to get it fixed instead of the dealer? The reason why is because people in this area are afraid to touch this car, because it's a foreign car, and because it's very specific, and generally it's a pain to repair. Like, you have to do it exactly right, or you know, you'll end up messing something up. A lot of the shops don't want to even work on this car because they're worried that they might mess something up. So the only people I can go to get this car repaired is the dealer, which is irritating. But the dealer is the most trustworthy place to go to get your car fixed, since they would be experts on that vehicle. To think the airbag system is giving me false alarms just because someone spilled soda. I mean, it's always a bad idea to spill food or a drink in your car, but I've never spilled a drink in a car and it resulted in the airbag system not working. Like, that's terrible. No. Now I'm driving around this car. I have no idea if the airbag system is working or not because the sensors aren't working. Well, I'll have enough money for a replacement car by the end of June. Hopefully this car continues to drive for that long. When that happens, I'll just trade in this car for that car, for a car that costs $4,000 or maybe a little bit more. This time I'm not gonna get a Volvo, as I'm currently not a really big fan of them, considering how much maintenance they are. I mean, I need a car that's very low maintenance and the parts for it are extremely cheap. I can't have a car with expensive parts because, well, people with low income generally can't afford cars with expensive parts for them. Like, I'm starting to think this car is meant for a rich person that could afford $4,000 to repair it. So whatever car I'm getting, I'm gonna make sure parts for it don't cost that much money. I mean, car parts are always expensive, but I want them to be, you know, the cheapest they possibly can be. Usually cars from America and Japan have cheap parts. I don't remember spending that much money on my Nissan Altima to get parts for it. In fact, that car was very low maintenance. I've owned that car for a year and I didn't need to buy anything for it really. And there was one time when the car wouldn't start. It was just because of a fuse. A fuse that only the dealership was able to find. Oh man, what in the world? There's smoke coming out of the back of that bus. I don't think that's normal. Smoke coming out of the exhaust. Might want to get that checked. I've never had smoke coming out of the exhaust of the truck that I used to drive. You know what? I probably should have just gone straight through this light since it takes forever for this left turn signal to come on. And you know what? I could have gotten home going straight as well. Both of those roads lead the same way. Why do I keep going left, knowing how long it's going to take for this light to change? What in the world? These cars are driving on the wrong side of the road to go around me. How in the world can you justify that? You know, I hope one of these days a cop just happens to be driving by and they see them do that. $178,951 miles. Man, the Nissan Altima I had about that many miles on it and it didn't need any repairs. The check engine light never came on. You know, everything was running smoothly. I'd like to have another Nissan Altima if I can. Of all the cars I've owned, that one was always my favorite. Well, another car driving on the wrong side of the road. I don't know why, but driving on the wrong side of the road is very common in Pennsylvania. At least once a day I see someone doing it. I'm pretty sure they have no idea what a double solid yellow line means. I'm not supposed to pass on those lines. Oh, the light finally changed. No! I'm not gonna make it. Well, I'm just gonna put the car in neutral because it doesn't make sense to have my foot on the clutch for another 5 minutes. I'll put it back in first gear when the light changes. Okay, so it turned. He's making a left turn. Left turn. Okay, after this light changes to red, I will finally have a green light. Might as well put it back in gear. Ahead. You know, they really should take those signs down. There's no road work going on right now. And that one too, it says steel plates ahead, but there aren't any. I have to be in third gear when going up this hill, otherwise it'll stall out. The one bad thing about manual transmissions, they're very bad at climbing up hills. Wow, what in the world is this guy doing? Another guy driving on the left side. I'm starting to think 25% of Pennsylvanian drivers are just drunk. Either that or they don't know what side of the road you're supposed to be on. Is a courthouse. Oh wait, which gear was it? I forgot which gear I was in. Alright, put it in first. It's really hard for me to remember which gear I'm in sometimes because the car has a different gear pattern than a truck. I put it in second gear since I'm going downhill. Whoa. Why don't pedestrians look both ways before crossing anymore? That was one thing my parents told me all the time when I was a kid. But in this area, I hardly ever see anyone actually look before crossing the street. Well, stop sign. This hill's steep enough, I can start in second gear. Oh, that was third gear. That wasn't that wasn't supposed to happen. I forgot to put it in second gear before starting. Wow, usually when I do that, it would stall. Whoa. Careful, man. You're supposed to stop behind the stop bar, you know. A lot of people don't do that. She almost hit me trying to drive past the stop bar before stopping. You know, I've never been in a car accident where I was at fault, because I try to drive very carefully. Oh man, it's in my parking space. Now I gotta park here. Well, so